Well, you know, we sat down and I just kind of asked, you know, how do you think this is going to work? If this is really going to take off and break the cycle, what's the best way for this to work? And the guys, you know, it was great. Everyone really contributed a lot. And first off, I started off with the Halo guys, what they said. They said, you know, we'd be more than happy to come in and be able to talk to the guys every fortnight. I think you know, hearing what the Halo, what they do with Halo is just amazing. Obviously, those guys, you know, they're articulate and they're great, and obviously they've gotten a lot out of this program. And I think to have some kids who have been there and done that and got their lives back on track, and now they're really involved in the community, I think it's great to have them as mentors for this program. And they said they'd be willing to come in every fortnight, and I think that's got, you know, definitely. So we can have to put that into the into the diary. Say, you know, Halo will be coming every fortnight to mentor these guys. So that's Halo's involvement. But, you know, we also were talking about the importance of it having being a continual thing, not just, you know, one day it's this and then the next 2 days there's nothing there for them to do. So it's really important to try to have something there for the kids to know that they can go there after school and be involved with some sort of activity. And then we went on and started talking about, you know, for this to work with them, it's really important. Rather than getting someone who's, you know, 10, 15, 20 years older than them telling them how to live their life, how they got off the rails 20 years ago and then got their life back on track. It's more relevant to them, and they're actually really going to listen if they're, you know, it is youth to youth. So really that just finds that kind of tells us that, you know, we really need to be recruiting a lot more guys like yourselves who have really been out there and know that can relate to the kids. I think that's a big thing, being able to relate. And then, you know, as Yanni said, sport brings everyone together, so you definitely want these programs to be sport orientated. And they said, you know, the boys it's pretty much football and basketball, and for the girls it would be volleyball, netball and basketball. And then that got me thinking, I'm actually with ICEA, I'm involved with Cal Bruton, who used to be a Wildcat player, a bit of a legend down there. And I'm helping him set up NABA, National Aboriginal Basketball Association. Yeah? You heard of it? Yeah. And you know, it's taken off. They've had a few clinics already up in Broome, and you know they get 100 kids to these things, and they all come. And Cal Broome, like a famous basketball, runs these clinics, and I think he'd be more than willing to come and do that. So that would be another thing we could stick in the diary every month. He'd be able to do these workshops. And then, you know, the weekend camps, as we were talking about, getting the Telfords involved, Andrew and Lisa Telford at their farm up in the hills. You know, they're such lovely people. They've helped out. They've been involved with helping out other people, you know, all their lives really. And you know, she came up to me asking and she wanted to help. So, you know, she'll be so stoked to hear that there's people out there, there's a program there for them and that they can get involved with. So really, on this camp, we need to make sure that there's some appealing things for the kids to do, such as kangaroo hunting, making didgeridoos, storytelling by the campfire, the guys are saying. Huh? Yeah, campfires. Yeah, because the guys are saying, you know, it's really, you know, it's something about sitting around a campfire with a bunch of mates. That's where everything comes out, and that's where real strong relationships come out. And we also talked about, you know, martial arts and boxing. The guys are saying, you know, it really does teach you a lot of discipline when you get those kind of things going. And then, you know, hiking on the movement track, he said that you do that with contact, huh? Yeah, and he said, you know, just doing the hiking, you know, was pretty painful doing it, but really, as he said, you know, sitting around the campfire at the end of the day, that's where you really do get good relationships. And, you know, and that's the whole thing that Halo works around. It's right. You know, all the guys are saying the reason why Halo works is because I know the bloke sitting next to me, I can trust him with telling him my issues. And having that trust and respect for each other is just so important. And then breakdancing and cramping was what Leroy was doing. Crumping, I've never heard of it. And then guys, I just project. Do you want to give us a demo, please? Crumping. I asked for him to give me a bit of a show, but he said no. and so I'm going to watch that documentary Rise, and I'm sure there'll be some teachers out there who'd be willing to hold these do something like that, and yeah, I think that's it. And I think it was great. And so really, the big points were the halo coming in every fortnight, sport orientation. So at these centres, we're going to make sure we have facilities, equipment, basketball, footballs, and things like that, to make sure they're there to have fun. And then also the weekly the camps up in the hills with the Telfords. So they're the three big things, right?
By the way, sorry, you don't need a wooden didgeridoo to learn how to play it. You know that?
You don't, did you see any music play?
Yeah.
Yep.
We've got some at Mum. The two cardboard ones.
Do you think that the Halo group or yourself would want to be involved in being a part of the steering committee when it comes to MAYAG?
Yeah, no, I won't talk on behalf of the Halo boys, but I'm really passionate about the work that I do, and I feel that I see a big future with what's happening here with MAYAG, and I'd be more than willing to help out.
I think an idea that was addressed outside, that maybe if you guys are going to commit to being involved with the project, and having like key stakeholders get a rep from their agency, that way we can keep the network going and the thing going. So if you don't mind, get a youth to be on board with the steering committee. You guys might have a youth in mind, or you guys might have a youth in mind, just so that there's no communication breakdown and it's an ongoing thing. So that was a suggestion, perhaps get the steering committee up and running.
Yeah, right, on the subject, talk about the whole thing, to talk about alcohol and drug abuse.
Yeah.
Years ago there used to be a place out of Fife at the Quay bars.
Yeah.
What happened to all that? Didn't someone look into that and... Oh, right. So who owns all that?
Where was that? Wondering.
No, that's out of Fife, but out after. That used to be a place where they used to take people with drug and alcohol rehabilitation.
That used to be Sister Kate's that was out by it, so it was Burnbrae Farm.
Yeah.
So it's not
But they're talking about healing foundations, and I don't know if everybody knows, but there's a healing foundation that's set up now, and they're actually calling for board members, and that's on a national level. But what I think government are doing now, and what some organisations, I know ADS have contributed to it, is in rather than getting rehabilitation centres, it's actually called a healing centre. And so we're using the healing foundation, and Quay Bars, what you're talking about, is actually a location site that they've been looking at. And yeah, so I guess it's just a work in progress at the moment. And once again, it comes back to government and funding and all of that.